want in a king-size bed.
Sometimes you just go to sleep.
You're a king after
sleeping vertically and then wake up diagonally.
Ooh, that's a rare spawn we have from the man on long for the CT side. Look at IDK.
What?
That's an off spawn. You guys have been treated to something special here on the second map, and nobody's even fired a bullet yet. So it's about time we stop talking about ourselves and start talking Counter-Strike. We've got Nikom in the back of B. He's got a little bit of support towards Door and a big push inbound from Envy. Now, he's just doing a good job of buying time for the moment, looking for those engagements separately, but ultimately finds nothing to his favor. So the tunnel's controlled deep in the hands of Cutler, and the bomb down from Kerrigan. How does Team 1 get into this retake? Not going to be made easy. Cutler knows now that he's pinched from separate directions, can't manage a frag before he's dropped. Now that's going to activate Team Envy. They run out middle to try and get that portion of map control, which they will. Nifty from Carr, firing off the Glock, lines up bodies. TRK's reload is not quick enough, and Envy will start this with a pistol.
Absolutely crushed in the tunnels there, and there was a nice attempt at the retake, but Maluk needed to get more kills. Or sorry, Nikom needed to get more kills and couldn't do that, so that made it very difficult. They came close, they got in the site. Suddenly kills could have fallen into place, but they didn't. Team 1 call a tactical timeout nice and early. I wonder what they're going to talk about here, if they're just deciding over an eco strat that they can pull off, something sneaky that they can try. They almost always involve a cross smoke, just because if you don't throw a cross smoke, well, it's Dust2. The T's have line of sight on what site you're going to go to, and so that won't allow you to raise any doubts. There's a Bit who is going to go ahead and get a smoke. They've all decided to invest fully into this round. TRK, I don't know if he's going to buy up. It looks like he was comfortable with USP for a second, but even he grabs a deagle. And it is a very ecoable map.
Yep.
It's a fun map to run around with pistols on. Lots of options to try to use. JDM gets a nice tag onto Nikom. Nikom. Drone has made his way out lower nice and quickly.
Maluk's on the other side of this. He's got that scout scoped up. A little wary, though. Look at the way he just pulled himself back towards the B doors. Bit's going to come help him just in case the push is there. Aha! TRK, Dirty Deagle from the A site onto Catwalk, but he's being pushed. There's already players out, and a Molotov actually bounces off of the box. Had he kept himself in cover and not died to the AK of Drone, then he could have been a very real problem. They'll have to extinguish their own flames with smoke instead to plant bomb for Cat, where we already have Cutler falling back with the AK, long as IDKs. And Drone just wants to keep his head on his shoulders.
Yeah, again, all-star from the match the last time they played on Dust2, so probably just fairly comfortable with the angles and likes it to be quite aim-mappy. Scoring about 115 or 130 ADR along with Kerrigan, had an outstanding performance and was, what was the reason that the conversation was striked up about him as an IGL who could also frag. Will Envy continue that form on Dust2 today? We'll find out soon. But here on this second round, it was an investment for Team 1, so for them to get a couple of kills is okay, but it's not as good as if they were to get a couple of kills with just USPs. They spent quite a little bit, they spent a pretty penny on this round, and at least they recycle so they can kind of have 2 goes of it.
Yep. Better than having to be full vanilla. They got a little sauce on top.
Vanilla with sauce, my favorite ice cream.
I'm a mint chocolate chip kind of guy.
I like Rocky Road.
Well, there may be rocky roads ahead for Team 1 here. Obviously, with a couple of grenades, they'd look to soften up some players. One goes out, doesn't hit the mark. Potential cat peek 2. Actually, in fact, they take those long players who initially went to throw a grenade and come to stack them on Catwalk. That could be 4 players up if they went all in. But they separate.
IDK. Sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay.
Were you done your point? Or
yeah.
Yeah? Okay, I was just going to say IDK just like kind of lost there at mid. Not aware of the threat that someone could be inside of lower on the default. Interesting. And also, I want to say a headshot to suicide from the bottom of mid probably does like 20 damage.
Right.
Well, the UMP damage drop off. It's nothing to be scoffed at. Or it is something to be scoffed at because it's so terrible.
Ooh, that's an interesting kill. Bit gets an AK. Now you've lost B in the meantime. You can't help but feel like Bit already wants to save this, and you really wouldn't blame him. The other players with not much to lose could still try to go rack up the costs. I mean, especially because Bit still has armor as well. So not only does he not buy a rifle, doesn't have to buy his armor. He's good. But maybe he wants to lend a helping hand here to the pistol arrows around him. JDM is on the other side of the pillar. Instantaneous headshot ×2. They even have an extra ump.
Oh.
Now that AK should be saved. He's going to go ahead and get his paws on it. Maluk retreats with a smoke at his feet. He'll run to the top of mid, and TRK's on site.
Go ahead and tap it. Why not?
Yeah, try to draw a player in, blow him up with bomb.
He's technically already here, but... Oh, yeah, it is nifty. Just Hawkeyes on the bomb. No problem. Maluk gets away. I don't think they heard, because he didn't even shoot the AK when he came up the stairs, so I don't think they realized he even recovered it, or they probably would have camped it a little bit harder. Maluk with a big find now to recover his teammate's AK. They take this into the next round, officially this round, and everybody buys up. Team Envy with a quick 3-0, looking sharp as ever. Or looking sharp. Just sharp, I suppose. And it really feels, we're just trying to figure out the feelings right now. So emotionally, just with the momentum and everything, it feels like, oh, and Team 1 just going to run over this team. Then they're going to go on to the next map. That could all change. That could all change.
And then what it's really going to create is this question mark on map 3, where it's like, well, they had a great run throughout the day, but now they've had the taste of defeat. You never want to taste defeat.
Yeah.
And because of that,
hey, some people like toes. Nothing wrong with that.
We'll see how they bounce back if we get there. But it's still such early days. I'll put the third map out of mind for now, folks. It's Dust2 after all, so we could have a bloodbath and a brawl on our hands. Right now, we've got a cat setup for Team 1. Flashbang Prime to peak.
It's kind of a risky setup, but if there's a player who will make the most of it, it's definitely TRK. Very good at playing around by himself. Trone looks to potentially put pressure in entry. Molotov probably doesn't land where he needs it to, but because the smoke's still up, it might have been a waste of the Molotov to throw that soon. Finally, it'll come up and TRK will peek.
Doesn't catch anybody.
The jump will be heard, but it's what's going to be a mid-split most likely.
First headshot's found. Drone creating that space, doing what he does here on Dust2. Does lose his life to the push out through smoke, but JDM's there to trade straight away, which means it is on Ecom. He is back here using the box. Little elevation goes a long way. Works as cover too. But he's found himself all alone with Kerrigan understanding exactly where he's at. That is the bomb carrier at the end of the day, but look at Ecom run forward, almost taking JDM. Imagine if he drops that AWPer, refocuses his attention on the bomb site. He had already dinked up Kerrigan with damage, so there was a chance at an opening, but ultimately no round, at least not for them. It's 4-0 on Envy.
Not enough here to buy, even though they were quite close. As we see them start to spend their money, it seemed like, okay, now they're in the 2,000s or high 3,000s, but they almost had enough money to put together a purchase. Would have partly been due to the fact that they recovered the AK, but instead Envy will be the ones to have a significant weapons and utility advantage. A couple players pushing out long, instant P250 headshot on drone. The trade is out, however, for Cutler, and there's one more player spotted in pit, but it seems like they want to safely escape from this engagement, as there is a seriously high amount of CTs who have focused their attention on controlling long. And why take that fight if you don't need to? It is just a pistol, after all.
Just one. The head of the snake in Kerrigan slithers through the doors. Ooh, TRK even takes a little bit more damage.
Call him Tarek.
I was thinking, I was trying to
I think
piece.
you said Tarek and Turkey at the same time,
I've been
which is
like,
where Tarek is from.
I've been piecing this together in my head.
Okay.
Just kind of brew a point where I was going to be like, Tarek without the vowels.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
Tarek without the vowels disembowels the entirety of Envy. Something like that. But well, we didn't get there.
Can't use that anymore.
Nope.
Nope.
I'm gonna hope that whoever's listening now forgets, and then when I pull it out.
You know what? You should use it, because people are only going to remember the clip.
Right. Yeah.
If he does something crazy.
Yeah. See, that's the thing with casting, right? You get to use those lines one big time, and you're not supposed to recycle them.
Here we go. Getting very meta, folks.
Very self-aware. Just just like NVR here on their map choice, as it should be, looking to tear back through Team 1. Sure, they took a loss on Train, but you do have to chalk it up to some crazy individual performances at the time.
So 2 ops are purchased up. Snycom, Maluk will both have them. A lot of things you could do on Dust2. Love pushing B apps, or love pushing B tunnels with an op. Like controlling mid with an op. It's rarer to see that these days. It's most common to have them over at A in a 2-1-2. Allow your mid rotation to be able to be more fluid, walk freely between both game helper, elevator, car, long, and the mid doors in case there's a split. But sometimes you have a 3-2 like this, and the op can post up at mid. They've got strong guns no matter where they go. And oh my god, Maluk's probably like, wait, watch it, dude. Shoot that mushroom right off your head.
Gonna have a bit of a breather before the hit really comes straight through. Drone being set up by the utility on long, but Maluk has a chance here, a window of opportunity to hit shots even despite being blind. It's a solar flare from Catwalk, and he is all right after. 5 versus 2 environment here for Team 1, locking it down with this Opper. Cutler adds a single cost here to the tally of Team 1's first win on round 6.
That second off shot was ludicrous. He was blind and then just went for the timing shot. Nailed it. It was like a blind flick as well. Put Kerrigan to bed. Now, he should not have been able to opt from there at all. So there should have been the half of the cross smoke, basically, to land, to push him off his angle, along with a flash, to make him go reclaim long. But they had 3 people there. He didn't have to worry about long. And although the flashes were good, they peaked before. They actually showed up on his screen before he was blind, I think. And that allowed him to get the kill. Maybe not the second one. TRK scraped by. 1 HP.
Yeah, JDM even hitting that blind op shot.
Team 1 lose long, but they go back, take cat control. Good opportunity when you, like, you know, you shift the focus from the CTs from long to cat, such a predictable rotation, to try to, like, nade dump it and be ready to exec on it immediately. I'm not sure if they were aware of how much damage they did to TRK.
He's afraid of his own teammate's grenade. And on 1 health, I don't blame him.
And, yeah, it's still going to be a much weaker part of the map to hold. Holding cat is also is already quite volatile, and with TRK on such low HP, it's going to be tempting for them to go for this. Maluk is sitting at Goose now, opping versus long, relies on the support on cat, and they are so close here. Oh my god, I don't even know how the flash did not blind these guys, but they threw one up, and Kerrigan gets melted.
Pop's just above him. 1 health, not going to prevent him from getting a kill at least. Now Maluk firing off a shot, losing the pit control, and JDM's op looks to counter pick him. So it's Maluk still over behind boxes, now anticipating the walk up on car, but he misses a bullet that could have easily taken the man advantage. Follow-up shot also down, and look at these T's go. Cross up into the bomb site, tearing through the defense. Nycom only man left over.
That was a nice handling of the A site. The flash was great, and always consider how far away they are from the flashbangs. Maluk, who was up at basically Goose, got blind for 2 to 3 seconds as JDM jumped in a pit, and he was smart enough to know that once he was posted up, there was no sense in re-peeking. But that was, you know, the kind of flash that's game-changing that they needed when he was playing car, and they were trying to shy him off that angle. So, Team NV show more signs of life as they take another one cleanly, put the bomb down on A, and move into round number 8 with a decent amount of money left over. Nycom will hold on to the op, but his teammates, I don't think, will think about buying. Oh, actually, no, he can drop. Maluk's not in a position to drop or
IDK
buy
is.
himself, but IDK can, yeah.
We'll see who gets the short end of the stick. Couple of M4s.
They're good to
Nobody
go.
really. Yep.
Yep.
A little light on utility, but so what?
It's just the Opper who's pretty much not got any, but that's good. That's solid. Still, here's the risk of getting reset.
The tail of the tape. 5 in a row for Envy. Round one with a solid hold on Catwalk thanks to Maluk. And then reset in the follow-up. Again, that long control, it was taken by Envy. This time, you know, that's a good showcase as to how in the previous round, Maluk was able to hold down the car and watch Cat. This time, there's more presence on long. He loses control of it with his teammates. And even though he's blind again, he tears JDM's head straight off.
He's just waking up to these kills every round.
And that's a responsive play because in the previous round, JDM opened up a 5 versus 4 with that op duel on long. So Maluk goes for it, wants to counter it with his own sniper rifle and does so fantastically. Bit off of the flashbang, can't find anything in mid, but at least Tunnels has been cut down by Nikon. He watches window as Cutler comes in, can't kill him instantly, but does on the second spray. Now he's tapping at Kerrigan, swapping to the pistol and getting this job finished up.
Unbelievable. I thought he was trapped and dead, but no. Cutler and Kerrigan couldn't trade him out. That round we move on from swiftly, but he could have died very easily, and if he had, and it seemed like Cutler and Kerrigan both had their hand at missing shots, they could have had a sight to themselves, a pretty winnable after-plant situation. And so the mid to B strat, I think, is still quite viable. Team 1, in fact, throw Hail Marys running through that CT smoke, one after another to try to pick up the pieces and not relying on rotations to deal with it. 3-man upper B push. Kerrigan's going to get pushed immediately. They're going to go out to try to trap these guys in B, but it's 3 players here. They've got a cookout going. They have no intention of leaving.
Nope. Looking to lock it down.
Ooh, that was nice.
Yeah, very nice. It's the player in platform. And then it's funny because Drone had just been left. You know, he comes up the ramp with his team. He turns around and they're gone. And he's like, but guys, I got the kill. So they're going to re-aggress this. Could throw a player in through tunnels if JDM does get away, which he will. Kills TRK off Catwalk, but then we get this duel up in mid, and Cutler gets turned on.
Oh my god, a series of unfortunate events. All these players got flanked. They didn't die. Nifty could have gotten that Deagle kill. And the Galil. Yep. I mean, his crosshair was on him. I don't know how much he was pulling down.
You are the biggest critic of the Galil launchers.
I'm a little bit biased against the Galil.
And that's a good reason why.
It's based on results, yes.
If I can interrupt, just to update you, Stream A, Imperial 16-8 over INTZ, which means their first best of 3 now goes to that third map.
Okay.
1 Brazilian team's going home, and 2 Brazilian teams fighting for a place in the playoffs. Obviously, Team 1 now getting their hands on a double op setup, and all the utility they could hope for as they do take a pause of their own. This is wild. We're 9 rounds into the game, and they have already taken 3 of their 4 pauses. That's an average of 1 pause every 3 rounds, and they have many rounds ahead. So I like the fact that they're not letting this first half get away from them, probably understanding that they will have their hands full when they switch sides, because that's what happened yesterday. And so what's the point of getting to the second half with pauses in the bank if you don't even have enough of a buffer to win?
They pulled off an interesting strategy there, putting 3 people out for the push just in case somebody died, catching Kerrigan off guard instantly, and got maybe a little bit fortunate to be able to pull this round off. What the heck is that ridiculous Glock shots that Nifty pulls off, but the rest of the players on the team run directly into this AUG. And whose AUG is this is no longer an ironically funny question.
It's all too real. All too real. Taking the meta by storm. We COD now.
We already were. Look at Team Envy.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, what happened to Optic? Ooh.
They still have a roster.
Double op setup still good for Team 1. And a buyback on Envy features AKs across the board. Going to be trying to go back into the A split, but Nikon has spotted a player jumping on boxes, and good lineup there by Nifty, dealing a little bit of damage, warning the mid player, and having him kernel up in the B site instead. Maluk's op, though, on Cat. Well, he'll replace the damage with a nade. So we talked about warnings. There's one for Envy.
3 on A. Not the ideal site to take for Envy, but they just got shut down so hard and awkwardly at mid to B. I don't think they want to try that again. Maybe Team 1 onto this. And again, kind of play 3-2 and then scramble for the support at mid. I feel like if Team 1, if Envy wanted to, they could go for a mid to B again, just a little bit more patient about getting into the site, just do it nice and early, and then try to kill these scramble rotations. Kerrigan entering out long. He's going to spot one player, maybe can trade that information, but his backup dies. It's just down to these three.
IDK ready to pop up, but knows he can wait a little bit longer. Anticipates the teammate's flash. Good job by him. In unison, we have Team 1 locking down Catwalk as well. So first it's long. You get that in your back pocket, you focus towards Cat. And I have to say, I mean, it's a little thing, but IDK not trying to take that duel when he knows he could have at least fired off a couple of bullets and, you know, dance behind safety. No. He anticipates the teammate's flashbang, does it properly, and shuts that down with minimal losses. You know, you don't want Envy having any footing in this map if you are Team 1. You need every single round you can, and minimizing mistakes is the best way to do so.
You can let them know it's a 2-on-2 by not peeking as they cross elbow, and then, you know, pop up for a fight like he did as soon as they're finally letting their guard down. RDK also continuing to get kills into this round, grabbing a couple with just his MP9 and a couple of eco kills stolen back, but the bomb is left in spawn, and Bit will chase down one of the two remaining players. Cutler, do something nice. No, we can't. Team 1 even out at 6-6.
Just as we talk about minimizing losses, we have IDK run through middle doors with an op on his back and gives it over to Kerrigan. It's one of those situations that gets, it looks scary, but
IDK had the MP9, didn't he?
Oh, sorry, Bit. Whoever else pushed out through mid doors just trying to, like, you know when you're trying to rush an anti-eco?
Yeah.
Gives him an op. It scared me. But he's all good to rock and roll. Heavy beast spawn for Team Envy. They'll send 2 players towards Tons, a double escort with bomb on long. We're all tied up, Mohan.
Yeah, we are. You know, they've done 3 rounds better than they did on the last time they played Envy on this map.
Remember, we talked about how it was the T side of Team 1 that came up short versus Envy in their group opener. So this is uncharted territory as far as these teams are concerned.
That's officially not a good nade. Lands too high, doesn't actually get to Xbox or close to it. Maybe if somebody's on top, it does some damage, but it's got to be thrown a bit harder.
Got to put your shoulder in it.
There's a lot of players here at mid, not just T's. I don't know if they've been mollying out the door. I know they've been spamming it. They flash cleared it once, but it's become a common practice to, you know, definitely molly that out, spam them on the way back. And if they don't go through all of those motions, they're at risk of being big flanked. Here they are to try another A hit. Maluk is up on the site with the knob. He's probably getting more and more comfortable as the rounds roll on. He's not asking for support this time. But what's the call? It's impossible to know what Envy want to do at this moment. Cat and mid to B are always so close together, and that's why teams go and grab it early on. Just keep their options open. Here it is, the close mid molly. No one to spam on the fallback. That could have been a kill.
Keeps his utility. Throws himself amidst the smokes, dodges the flashbang, and wins the duel versus Nifty. Now that's going to have the T's transitioning entirely up Catwalk. If none of them drop down, then Maluk's going to have vision on Cat. But because there's no deep CT smoke, Drone, he just falls right into the M4. I mean, that's easy pickings. 5 versus 1. JDM tucks tail, turns back and wants to save the op, but there's players lying in wait. And Team 1 with a clean sweep here in the 13th round. They take the lead.
Kerrigan probably did need to get op too. You know, peeking right at the end of the smoke was the op, and he wasn't flashed off. They dropped into CT, as you mentioned, no deep CT smoke, so Drone couldn't rush the opper. And once again, they do a bad job of trying to neutralize that opper, who is almost always in a predictable spot. Every single match on Dust2, for the majority of the CT rifle rounds with ops, the op is going to be at car, sitting there waiting for you to figure out how to neutralize him. Don't make his job easy. Couple of T's running into B. It's the Yogg spray down, and he has enough bullets to get 3, but puts him to sleep and leaves JDM wondering what the hell happened. As he now creeps back to long, I think was initially just going to come try to catch a rotation off of Cat or be flank out mid. And they kind of threw caution to the wind.
With everything they could afford.
That is another thing.
The money to time alive ratio really didn't seem worth it.
That calculation. That's some like good bro science right there. Like, guys, we didn't get the good enough value for our time right there. it's kind of true. Like it's directly proportionate to how good you feel about the round.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that's and then that adds up to how demoralized you are afterwards, which probably factors into your ability to win the match. I think you're onto something here.
This is crazy. 5-0 to 6-8. And a very real possibility, seeing as the economy is not in a good spot in this final round, for Team 1 to have a 9-6 lead. Now, you know, I'll repeat myself. The big question is not on this half. We know Team 1 can have good halves and bad halves.
Yeah.
Right? Based on Cash earlier today.
We didn't see their CT half last time they played.
Nope, not on Dust2.
It was a pistol round, then 4-0, and the map was over.
So this is a good half, not a great half, not a killer half. It's getting a little bit of a boost considering that, you know, they were down 0-5 to begin with. But in terms of a scoreline and what we know of their Dust2 from yesterday, they still have to prove themselves.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
We give them at least half points already.
Sure.
Mid-door duel. We've got that scout down range, double op on the other side. IDK was tagged at first, but he does fall back, not wanting to risk his life too much on mid.
3-2, and it's actually not Maluk on A. They do have a second op and Nikon on B. This is not a good setup. They've got an op supporting an op. That means the rotate into the site is going to be a little awkward. Yeah, that means 3 rifles on one side of the map, 2 on the other, and there's no way they can help each other. It'll be on NB to try to figure out if this is the case, which is something maybe they can't do. But Maluk and IDK are both hurt quite badly. And one of the operas goes down. Cutler wins a straight-up duel to K-Sharp.
Yep. Because they had that close presence on mid, they could transition to the B split. But it is Maluk, low health, trying to deny 5. Catches Cutler first and foremost. Doesn't realize there's more bodies inside of the tunnel, but he's been given space. Trying to catch Drone by the toes as he flies in through the windowsill. It will leave Kerrigan to anchor mid, one of the 3 guns here in the hands of Envy. They could apply pressure from window just to set up Kerrigan's success, but he's traded out so swiftly that nobody's there to help. Down goes TRK. All that's left is IDK. And he might be 14-7. He might have had some rock-solid A-site defense rounds, but now he is outnumbered. More than half his health is gone, and he's just going to be desperately flanked here from JDM. 8-7 is the half, folks. Team 1 showing enough on the defensive side of the coin, but once we flip it in the air, the question is, where does it fall? Either Envy's going home, or we're going to map 3. But first, before either, we're going to take a break.
Intel Extreme Masters is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, HyperX, Bedway, and Pay Safeguard.
We could very well be finding ourselves in the final 15 rounds, the final half of the B stream here for the North American Minor. We need to crown our playoff contenders tonight, and we have one ahead of us. Is it Team 1 here on map 2? Do they take it to the third? Well, there's no reservations left for them to hold off on, folks. It is gonna have to be straight frags from Envy and the pistol. They want to tie it up, and we know they can on the CT side. They lock Team 1 out, and right now they've got them barreling down long. In a big crescendo, Team 1 look to get past the CT cross, and well, they're not gonna get there.
No.
At all.
No. You shall not pass, is what they say. They throw a ton of flashes there. How did they have so many flashes if 4 people bought armor? Was that really only 2?
It felt like 5.
It was at least 6 flashes, I think.
I think there was 9.
They could have picked him up, maybe? No, there's no way. Like, apparently there was literally 2 flashes, so Kerrigan really made those go far. And the smoke that popped also seemed to have, maybe plumed in their face as one of them died trying to throw it. So everything goes wrong. A series of unfortunate events for Team 1, and NV tie it back up. Now, they tie it back up, but they did have a strong lead. But again, it's important to see that Team 1 struggled on the T side last time they played, and we're trying to see if that's going to follow up into this game for NV's tournament life. There's pistols aplenty for Team 1, but not much utility to work with. Just kidding, there's none. 2 SMGs and a couple of rifles as NV hedge their bets on what kind of threat they'll have to face. And building an economy, it always takes a backseat to winning the round, but it can be instrumental in the long run, especially if you're able to win those rounds. So we'll see if it has an effect. Does Team 1 really take their time? And these are pseudo pauses too. We've seen how many pauses they take.
Yeah, right.
They could totally be talking about next round.
They either have 1 or 0 left for this half. I say half, I mean map, you know. Overtime could be on the table. They don't give you extra. Cutler ready for this burst out. Does have Kerrigan with a face in the corner, so that right there is the anti-flash. Really don't see a way for Team 1 to get out here without being mauled by the bears of Kerrigan and Cutler, but okay. Nicom springs his trap. JDM, he's gonna get that scout shot to Maluk. We do have catwalk control, but
no way.
Nicom's got himself a 3rd Deagle kill.
Are you serious?
If this man turns around and just destroys Envy single-handedly here in this round, that could be synonymous to the entire time this has happened. 8 seconds left. They need to get that bomb over, and it's just not going to connect. Nifty saves the day.
It wasn't meant to be, but oh my god. He knocked out 2 SMGs and a rifle, and Team Envy don't have enough time to reclaim any of the guns that they had. One of them was at long on Kerrigan and Og. He'll end up asking for somebody to purchase it for him because he's got it like that. And the rest of his team will buy up. That was kind of scary. Really
scary.
Insane round from Nicom. Those 1Ds were ridiculous, and he almost set up the fourth. Excuse me. What are Team 1 about to do? 5 AKs out, lower default. Always denoted by having 2 people. Go lower, flash high for the cat peek, but there's no one here. Standard positions. Kerrigan is going to be playing mid to B, so flex rotator. But they've already got 2 in the site. And so A, for the moment, is a touch weaker, but not so much that he has to move.
Barely any damage done either way at the moment, but we've got both teams kind of puffing their chests for mid control. Kerrigan alone, Team 1 grouped up. Shadow gives way to Cutler, but he jumps the gun. gives IDK a fantastic opportunity at the entry kill. Now JDM, sure, he'll stop that long push, but there is still time for Team 1 to reset. There's another scope on ramp as well in the hands of Kerrigan. We know these AUGs let you take different angles, different positions, really tight spots. This could very well be one of those. Warns the players who are about to attempt entry with 30 seconds on the clock. Kerrigan down. Blasted by Bit. Now JDM also falls. These AKs hitting headshots in the bomb plants for Catwalk, where we have Team 1 immediately on the board here to their T side in the rifle round once they get it.
Dude, the entries are so nuts. None of those players had a chance. They had to hit their first bullet headshots. They just heightened the advantage of having AKs there on the T side. And it was a bunch of clean shots that were open line of sight, but it was fights that Envy seemed to want to take. And at this point, wish they didn't, obviously. Ridiculous. Cutler, I mean.
Right, that one kind of hurts.
That's just like a fadeaway, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to shoot here. I hopefully do some damage to you, but I'm just trying to leave because I didn't know you were standing there waiting for me to push.
Yep.
And he still gets headshotted. Wipe it from your memory.
What's wild too is, you know, it's not like the A site falls because Cutler dies on long, which is sometimes the case. You lose long control first, and then you get pinched as the ramp players. But both JDM and Kerrigan had all of their attention on Catwalk.
That's true.
Nobody came out long for the T side.
Not yet.
And then, bam, bam. You've got 2 quick entries, and you've got an A site just wide open for the after plant. So Team 1, you know, I'll say it one last time. Awful T side yesterday. And now immediate victory the moment they have guns in their hands, but also could have done it 1 round sooner if Nicom got more than just that 3K deagle. So, like, if there's anything to go off of, in these first 3 rounds of this T side, this is already a substantially better Team 1.
For sure. Yeah. Envy got to write that off. They got to flash better. They got to throw some nades. Because they thought they could take those fights. They thought they had the better guns. Team 1 too sharp in those fights. It's a little sketchier now too. There's not going to be an op as well. I wonder how easy it would have been for an op on Envy to take fights in that situation.
Right.
And so you got to think Team 1 got to step it up as the rounds go on. But they'll take that one happily. Busted by here for Envy. So they've got a FAMAS, a Scout, and an M4 on low nades, and just a CZ boosting up Nifty to try to find a cheeky way to get this kill. The Molotov is going to threaten their positions. They might get killed falling back. It's in fact Kerrigan to go down for free. It's a tough boost to get away with now that teams are just throwing that routinely. Flash to go out and just check things out, but they don't know that if anyone's actually pushed back into position. They'll try their hand at Cat again, and it's JDM on the ramp this time.
Yeah, with only a scout. Only a scout, and not even the support with Kerrigan. Remember, last time he was on that ramp, he was that first point of contact. JDM got second servings.
Mid-to-B could be tasty, but seems like Nifty is going to be one of the better guns. Happier to take these fights, but it's a little bit dry, and IDK just straight up out-duels him. Instant headshot, and he's out of the round.
I mean, he's just standing in the open, not anticipating a duel at that distance to not go his way. Drone on the windowsill, tries to create space. He knew that he was getting pinched upon, and while he does take the initiative into mid to win that close fight, which is nice, of course you have that anchor in Bit all the way towards CT spawn there to help him.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true. I mean, for the T's, they're happy that he peaked. I mean, even if they had died, like, that is such a big opening that they can get themselves back into the round with, and Nifty hands it to them on a silver platter. More impressively, IDK just does work and puts him to bed. There's not many chances here for Envy, for real, before the economy of the CT side gets out of hand. Cutler and JDM are hanging on to 2 very valuable weapons at the moment, as bad as they are. But they've got to continually pick apart the economy here. However, it doesn't seem like Team 1 are going to go too aggressive to try to seek these guns out, and they'll be able to keep them. Small lead for Team 1 as we move into round 20. AK's rebought. This time an op is also purchased. But the stockings are light for Envy. They don't have enough money to support the current guns that have been carried over. Could be another freebie. Boost up on Cat. 2 players running down to try to maximize their scout usage. And Kerrigan's gotten hurt at some point on the map. Not exactly sure where. Long control here on the anti-eco.
Team 1 just going to get their feet out on long first. Probably buy time here until they're comfortable enough to move this cohort forward. Oh my. I mean, JDM, he's got fast movement with that scout. He's just, well, scouting. Looking for the information more so than the kills. And he's dropped by the op. So I talked about the comfort they look to establish, and getting a 5 versus 3 is almost as comfortable as it gets. They'll put up that wall of smoke. TRK clears barrels first. Sure, some shots come through smoke, and then Team 1 goes through it too. That's Bit with a cleanup. And speaking of cleanup, Team 1 without losing a single member in the anti-eco. That's the kind of round that really builds up some momentum. You can see it clearly in their cash.
Yeah, it's a whole round of money that they'll have to eat through in the future to be able to earn themselves a save. And here, the money wasn't even saved well enough that they can afford an op. Everybody's just evened out, just under 4K. They're going to go ahead and save. Try to buy a full buy. I honestly like it. I think that, you know, that could have been a risky... Could be risky to give the roundup, but at the same time, I definitely see the value in them having an op. I wonder what's going to happen to them if Team 1 come flying across Cat again, and they've only got rifles to deal with it. Probably a smart decision. Stack up into B, and they smoke it. It's kind of reverse psychology. Hey, don't come in here. We don't want you to come into this empty site.
No girls allowed. That's not the case, Launders. You can't stop the T's from entering. If they opt to, they could charge straight through, but they won't. Instead, a little reposition, clearing catwalk. Again, I always praise this type of decision-making. When you've got a team on an anti-eco, go through the motions. Sure, it might cost you a reinvestment utility, but you've got the extra money, and it's worth it in the end. Minimize mistakes. That's what players with experience like those on Envy should be punishing, mistakes. And as long as Team 1 prevent those from happening, they better their chances of cleaning up this series in a 2-0 fashion, because that's the reality we're starting to work towards. All right, this T-side's still early on, but it's already hands down better than what we saw yesterday.
One man in CT spawn, and he's going to hear all of these footsteps and call for the rotates out. Chance there for the 1D, small chance, but that timing window has closed, and there's actually Nikon at top mid to put away any of the rotators as well. They can go ahead and fight this if they'd like to. It's pretty much just Team 1 who want to not die, so they probably don't want to hang out like longer than they need to. With a little bit of extra money granted to them by these kills is nice, and seeing as they're easy, they'll go ahead and indulge. JDM P250 flash and a bit of money is just waiting here, biding his time patiently for the next round where he'll have an op, and maybe Nifty will as well. Ops and Ogs.
Hell of a combination, hell of a drug, hell of a lead being pieced together here from Team 1. Buy up, let's criticize it. Double op setup, okay. Grenades all around it.
Not enough Ogs. Not enough Ogs. At least like Cutler's being smart about it. We'll see what happens. Looks like 3 players turning their attention to mid, so one will most likely be offing it late into the round, potentially. Oh, they've actually only got 2 here. Nifty, small chance, but eats a flash as they go up for the fast cat. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch JDM off guard, though. That information could have been critical that Nifty got by spotting it. Molotov goes out to separate anybody else who's coming up behind them, but they've got long control. They got their kill on Cat. They can slow it down. Promising round start here for Envy.
Little little variation on their long setup this time too. I mean, with Kerrigan down here, JDM could fixate on long itself with the pit commitment off Cutler.
He doesn't even need to go fishing for this, really. But, yeah, look, they're just trading peaks by flashes. He can still get killed. Oh, my God, what a game to play. His attention just kind of only necessarily needs to be on the cat cross, but he's also got a teammate up on the ramp in Kerrigan.
Team 1 not wanting to continue that op duel. Not looking to test JDM in that direction. Could very well hit him from cat, and if doing so, they'll find him behind the car, because now that they've gotten into position, it's actually Kerrigan who's fallen slightly off, down into the depths of CT spawn, where a smoke is plumed in his face. JDM has lost his teammate. Now the pressure's on. He knows the closer body's here, and the second shot connects, as does the first. It took 2 to take him down. Now Cutler drops bomb, 10 seconds up, and Nikom has to go get it. Problem being, he's going to be on full display. Dodges the bullet, needs to go plant, and Cutler's going to win another crucial duel just as Drone swoops in.
Plays that to perfection. Waits long enough. Nikon's thinking, okay, I've got to try to get this bomb. I have to move forward, which is always really stressful. It's probably going to hit crouch to try to be able to take that fight and have some kind of an advantage when Cutler just plays him. Just peeks a little bit, makes him stop, delays the time. He looks up. It's like 10 seconds. Oh, man, I got to get the bomb. Need 4 seconds to plant. Got to also pedal backwards to get to the site. He's going to peek me soon. When do I take this fight? And Cutler goes ahead and wins it, brings it home for Envy. That was a huge cleanup. Kerrigan needed to get a kill there to take stress off JDM, obviously. His one job is to catch people dropping into CT. Should be able to. Don't know how the duel went down, but it puts undue stress onto JDM. He does go ahead, like, recollect himself after getting this information, you know, hit the shot on reaction, and then almost turns it into 2. But, man, that was close. Cutler also dropped the bomb in the first place on the ramp.
Yep.
So, you know, that's how you want to play long.
All that time, all that sinking in pressure based on the clock, that's all Cutler. He'd been in pit from the get-go, which is where he'll begin this round 2.
Money's fantastic, however, for Team 1, so they won't be too concerned. Another default out. They work their way up. Successful go of it that round in some regards. So they're definitely going to keep that in their back pocket. Expecting their T side to consist of cat plays, mid to Bs. And they try long, but you don't necessarily need long. A lot of the times, teams are just sitting outside long, putting some pressure, but not fully committing anybody. And depending on how the cat play works, that's how they decide if they're going to try to meet their teammates halfway. Team 1 looking to send the bomb this way, is that right? No. One player by himself, yeah. So 4-1 up cat again. Wall smokes at long, interestingly enough.
Yeah, that could indicate more than one player. But if Cutler catches IDK, then there's not really much of a problem. This is going to allow the other A players for Envy to really focus on cat, which is in fact where one looked to blast past. Bit down beneath, trades JDM, but it's Cutler again with a multiple frag round. And Kerrigan, all the while, sits back on Goose. They don't anticipate his position, didn't account for the man to be tucked away in the corner there, so Maluk is all alone. Hits the shot versus Kerrigan, knows that Cutler's back here, but he knows that Drone should also be on arrival soon enough, and the Flames force his feet down into the open, down into the depths goes the bomb, unplanted, and down goes that lead.
Another fantastic round from Cutler, who's taken a lead in this map in terms of frags for his team. Just super good stuff. What can you say? It deals with the one-on-one at long after being isolated by the long smokes. Probably a terrifying situation for him. Not only does he get that kill, after almost peeking out in front of a pole to add some randomness to the engagement, but then coming back and supporting versus the cat play once again, going above and beyond. And we saw how much of a struggle that was for Winstrike when their long player constantly got bullied. If he stays alive, look at this. Look at what he can do to influence the cat plays.
At least that Molotov won't come back to bite them, but Kerrigan does have vision over top of the CT spawn. ICOM wants to duel versus Nifty. He's got cover from the tower box. And now they feel a little strangled here. Molotov on window, smoke down on door, Nifty winning a duel, but it's the CT spawn cleared. And Nifty still up with that op, hit by the side as Maluk looks to combine. Now the up close shot is the one that never gets out of the barrel. Bit alone. After all of that, Launders, after all of that aggression, Team 1, they ran out of pauses just the round prior. They tried something different, hitting the B bomb site for the second time on their T side, and they just can't get that next level entry. They couldn't get Nifty off of his cover. They couldn't kill Drone when the Opper pinched tons. And it cost them bodies to clear Kerrigan from spawn.
Yeah, Nifty was absolutely a thorn in their side, and for as long as they couldn't come into window, Nifty was in a position to also threaten tunnels, so he was on the opposite side of double stack, and from there could have line of sight and make it so that nobody felt comfortable on the split trying to get out towards him. Fast long take here. Team 1 turn up the tempo, like the change of pace. I think Envy were probably expecting something to go slower, but stealing long this quick is a big boon for them, and they will now, I don't actually know, are they going to attempt to retake Cat? It looks like they're kind of watching it somewhat passively. A split could be effective here. JDM happy to seek out a kill if it's going to come his way. I feel like playing whack-a-mole with these stakes is kind of risky, but there's no op for Team 1, whether he knows it or not. Leave someone back here at long, and this is common practice. CT spots are interesting. A couple are actually higher than they look, I think. 2 posted up on Cat, 2 in CT spawn. It's pretty unorthodox, but look at Nifty. He's ready to go.
Kerrigan as well looks ready for a fight. Just throwing out some utility now. The threat looms near. Frag grenade hits the mark. Smoke hits the dirt. Kerrigan dodging the flashbang, ready for the walk-up. Nails 2 frags, almost spraying in for the third, but Maluk will stand strong for now. It's also Cutler over towards middle to cut down bodies. JDM's op fires off, and we have Envy with a fury coming back into this map. The CT side that we knew they had control of took a little while to get started, but now Team 1 are grinding through this T side.
Yeah, their CT setups actually look quite interesting. There, I mean, that's on Kerrigan. Times this smoke exactly when they were thinking about taking him down, and then goes ahead and kills them as they run through it. Perfect stuff. Not allowing them to get more map control than they deserve. At the beginning of the round, the fast long A made it seem like they were really going to threaten A. It could have been over for Envy if they went back to take Cat a little bit more quickly. I feel like for a moment the setup was kind of flimsy, resting on just a single rifle there, only spotting to be able to drop off safely into CT spawn, but that would leave JDM to die. So it was big that they didn't go there quickly enough.
Molotov misses the mark. Still Cutler flashed past the edge of the wall, and he'll find Maluk blinded by the boxes. That was the only weapon actually up for Team 1. In an attempted entry gone wrong. Now it's just the Deagles and a single CZ. JDM eats lead through the door. Tries to control that op.
Yeah, there's not to be recovered. If Team 1 knew that the mid player was right side, they'd go mid B in this situation. They have 2 smokes to do it, but they also could drop CT if that's what their intention was. Potentially here, they could deep smoke CT, smoke the cross on Cat, and then actually mid B and have someone drop off into CT spawn and try to crunch whoever's down here. It sounds complicated, but it wouldn't cost them anything more than what they're using right now. However, one of their smokes get taken out immediately. Cutler just getting in the face of things.
Yeah, he's got Kerrigan to bolster the confidence. Obviously, with the gun advantage, they will take these fights on their own accord. IDK rounds upwards, head taken off, and Cutler on the chase. Hunts Nico like a dog. That is 14-12 for Envy. It took, again, a little bit of time, but now they're in full control.
Super impressed with Cutler, man. He's been so impactful today and yesterday.
He was the one that really started towards long and pit to get these rounds on the board for Envy. You know, this is back when we still saw Team 1 with money and pauses in their back pocket. You know, when they were more of a threat than they are now, it was Cutler that puffed his chest and sized up. 22 frags for him.
TRK is going to abuse the fact that they've got this, gifted this long spawn. The flash comes out, and Nifty can't hold on to it. However, at the same time on A, they've also got another op, and I don't know if the T's will assume he's gotten on Cat quickly. It seems like Nikon is going to be careful. But now, Team 1 are using this op as an escort. Angles are covered. And Maluk can cover everything on the right side, clearing out all these angles meticulously. They'll soon find out that nobody was left over at long when that op shot rang off. And again, another good flash to push him off his angle, resetting the fight, making it more dangerous for JDM.
Dangerous for Nikon as well if he were to prance around down the lower tunnels, but the totem pole is given up on. Team Envy will double back closer towards Cat to hope and hold the cross. Nifty almost killed by sheer utility, down to only 12 health, but JDM's in position to help. Already he's found a kill. Utility comes back the other way, and Cutler saves the day by catching that lurk out from Nikon. Now, these T's, they have footing closer to the site, but now that they've lost their cover, that's when the real issue begins. They could use utility to get in and plant, which is what Bit seems to want to do. Maluk with cover off of the fire, and in this mid-round, we have it back into the 2 versus 2, a long-range duel lost by Cutler, and Team 1 plant this bomb. JDM is gone. Unless he doubles back through CT spawn, we have Team 1 pumping the brakes, lying in wait, and getting back in control of this mid-round.
No free kills here for JDM as he comes back. We'll definitely go over this round if he opts to save. Time ticking down.
Oh, he's going to fancy his chances.
This is probably not worthwhile, and he misses the no-scope.
Oh.
Or the quick one, and they have money to buy, so he figures he'll just attempt it.
Right.
The 1v2, why not? But look at that, a Team 1 round where they go out long, they get pick control, they throw great flashes, and then they sneak all the way up. And Nifty has to run through so much fire that, I mean, he gets one peek off before he dies to spam. He drops a really important Molotov and assists JDM in a peek, and you think that that Cutler dealing with the flank was it. You know, he's put on his cape at this point. He's in full superhero mode. He just shut down the flank. He's playing Cat. He's playing long. He's doing everything. Comes around for the big flank. Fluffs to kill himself. Nifty goes down at elbow. Everything just suddenly falls apart.
It's one of the first rounds here for the T side of Team 1 where they didn't have a strong start straight out the gate. They're in this awkward, you know, mid-round type situation on a disadvantage 2, and they still pulled through. When they were winning T rounds, it was because they had Team Envy just pounded from the start.
Again, 4 players up at long. They're going to throw all their usual flashes. I mean, just hearing that is enough for the CTs to be in tune with what might be coming their way. And Cutler has taken a very passive position in the CT spawn. I think his job at the moment is to try to hold on to, or listen for a mid-B. It's a new setup. It doesn't look stronger to me. But we'll soon find out if it works any better. 4 Molotovs out for Envy. So they could put those to use. Try to neutralize these smokes that they're throwing. They're lucky that there's no one trying to hold on to Cat. Smoke's not there to cross.
Whoa! Missed shot. JDM follows up with another miss. TRK does get tagged up, but it's Maluk with the opening duel. That's Cutler down from spawn. Now this time they have long completely under wraps thanks to Bit's commitment. And everybody else for Team 1 is here within the bomb site to try and hold back the retake, but the retake's not coming.
They threw 4 Molotovs that round in the last, like, 10 seconds. I don't even know where they went.
14 all.
The setup was not that great. I mean, the cross smoke was not that great either. But
yeah, I mean, there's 2 chances JDM gets kills. One's incredibly difficult, okay, when the head just pops up on ramp. But the first bullet, a flying member of Team 1 through the flames. There's a lot to obstruct his vision, but JDM has been good for those. You know, he said it himself yesterday. I don't even think I missed a shot. Well, he'll remember that one because it enables them to tie 14 rounds apiece.
I'm just surprised they didn't try to reposition off of the information that they were at long. Is that really the setup they wanted to use to hold it? Like, they put all of their eggs in the basket that was JDM hitting that shot on the cross. They did have Cutler spotting, and we didn't get to see if he missed some shots or whatever the case was, but Yeah, Team 1, I don't think expected to be able to cross that easily, or, you know, I mean, I think they would have totally been, I don't think they would have been surprised if they ended up all dying attempting to get that bomb across. Bit, oh my god, he
Fast
gets this
entry.
kill too.
It's Cutler down again, the difference maker for these CT rounds, but it's a redirection drone to be tested. Him and Nifty on the B site. Drone caught by the first, but he lines them both up, takes bomb in his control, and Maluk has no answer. Drone has been quiet, but like every good serial killer, he doesn't make up the issue. He sits back and relaxes and lets them come to him. Cuts them all down right after, and just like that, Team 1 are going to give away round 15.
That's it.
You go from successful A hits, constantly taking long, and this round, getting that duel again. They win the headshot fight versus Cutler. They get the 5v4, and they try to go all in on a B bomb site that hadn't been split, hadn't been pinched, hadn't had utility elicited it, and because of it, they hit a wall.
I mean, they had to kill Drone. He was right there. It was like, come at me, baby.
Yeah.
He just owned them. That was ridiculous. Can blame the strat, but 3 people peeking one guy who literally didn't move.
All right,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, he destroyed them. He instant headshotted every single one of them.
It's not even as though Nifty had to help out, right? There was no assists on the frags. That was all Drone all day. So Team 1 will have a chance to take this out of regulation. But it is Envy securing overtime at the very least, and they need it. They absolutely need it.
The clock will bleed down, and I'm sure that the team speak is getting kind of quiet. They've got to figure out what to do this round, but
No pauses.
it's yeah, no pauses, so they can use that time.
Thing is as well, I mean, this screams to me that Gambit versus Windstrike game we had, whereby, you know, Windstrike was long A, round after round, long A, long A. This is only the 3rd time we've seen Team Win hit the B site. You know?
Team Win, you calling it early?
That Freudian slip. Team 1 hit that B site, and it hasn't been a forte. You know, I understand the strategy.
Yeah, there was thought behind it though.
Right.
They did to try to get a kill. Like if you're Envy, you're super scared it's going to be A again.
Envy
But
did
they
have
just-
3 players long.
Yeah, they just
Didn't kill Drone.
couldn't trade. Man was a fucking
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
man was a tank. Oh my god, I got so scared when I said that. I'm sorry.
Well, if anybody out there wants to become a caster, I'd need a new partner.
Oh man, there's space available.
It's okay, Belonders. Everybody gets one.
I've had many in my life at this point, but it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
There you go. And it comes at a good time.
All right.
You know, the pressure's high. Elimination on the line, and Bit not going to get his kill quickly, but we do have Team 1 transitioning into the cat hit. There's nobody here to slow them down. Kerrigan's going to put down that Molotov. JDM blinded off of his initial position, but still double scoped in, misses a shot again. He can't hit the mark, but TRK sure can. Maluk as well knows Kerrigan's just beneath them. The entries are all working out, and Kerrigan can't get more than 1. It's Team 1 forcing overtime straight out of nowhere.
Wow.
They don't need long. They don't want to face Drone.
They skipped steps.
They hit Catwalk
Ran
and
up
get
with 5.
OT.
No problem.
And they're going to continue this T side.
Just strang across it. Wow. They just fast catted, up cat, cross
Fastest
elbow.
round 30.
Yeah, I mean it's changed. They even, I mean, every single time they hit A, it wasn't even as one-dimensional as Windstrike, which was literally 5 rush long.
Right.
They did approach cat and long in multiple ways. They had variation with the way that they did it, whether it was the timings, how they had pick control and then they creeped up the wall, or if they did wall smokes and then hit cat. They had a lot of different ways to do it to make it seem like they were going to try something completely new, which has been fresh. Some of it seemed like they were making it up as they went, and it was a little bit loose, a little bit rough, but they did do a good job of faking it, if you will. So there's another change up. Change in tempo, back to the core of what works, but not going for control first. Just hightailing it all the way up cat around elbow. And TRK, who was such a highlight player from the last map, has only gotten 9 kills, I think, so far, if I'm not mistaken. No,
10 after that last
10
round.
after that one.
Yeah, and he was up
What
there.
a kill, and what a kill to get.
He was up there high 20s.
We got a
Update for the A stream, 11-8 for INTZ on Mirage.
Third map.
Another Brazilian team looking to make their way into the playoffs. Obviously having to resort to cannibalism over there. Only 2 of the 3 can make it now. But here we go. What's wild as well is that's such a classic, dude. Somebody takes a pause. Obviously, in this case, Envy. There's none left on 1.
Yeah.
And then you just gun it up catwalk, full sprint, W key.
You got to make up time.
Exactly. So, I mean, you know, that's a good point to remember here in overtime. There are no pauses left for Team 1, so you're in this high octane, high pressure situation. You can taste the playoffs.
I can.
I don't know what they taste like, but I'm sure it's good. After all this work, after being shut down into the lower brackets, after being stomped on by Envy yesterday 16-3, you have them in overtime at the least.
Crazy.
That in and of itself is an accomplishment, but it's not the one they want.
Not the one they want, for sure. I think this is pretty 50-50. I mean, 50-50 leads to 15-15.
Yep.
So.
What are you, a philosopher?
But, yeah, based on the rounds we've seen, I mean, I can't tell who's going to have, like, Team 1. They just went 1-1, but they won, like, a lot of the recent T rounds. So, Envy had some solid ones. It's just, it kind of depends what Team 1 we get. That was the first round. It was the first rifle round where they went all cat, actually.
Yep.
And they just hit dink, dink, dink. Entries on A. This time versus Ops. My goodness.
Yeah, double sniper setup from Envy straight out the gate. JDM not to be boosted from catwalk, but an aggressive play from Kerrigan. They are looking for this duel. JDM's waiting, has an inkling as to there being a boost for just the moment, but Kerrigan's position should be well unknown. Deletes Maluk, goes for the second duel and takes it just before Bit comes back with a double of his own. Now they've lost the bomb, so it's not like they can go all in off this.
Oh, that's awkward. Those are terrible smokes.
Oi, oi.
One of them was good, but yeah, the one bounced too far. They can actually cross in front of that, but they've got to worry now. Yeah, JDM.
This is going to be one of those weird ones because they had also lost the player first tasked with picking up bomb. Cutler comes out long, strikes him down, and slows down this round entirely.
Nice play by him.
All the while, after the fact, Nifty comes charging through tunnels and now sits in the depths of T-spawn.
Look at that. He can get the auditory cues if they come near him. So highly likely that they walk there. And he can also cut them off if they go tunnels.
More than likely with a kill.
Yeah, and he's completely safe the whole time. Now, they do go B, which they do not have smokes for. Yeah.
That's the thing, is they use those smokes banking on the fact that Maluk was going to go grab bomb, or Nikon, whoever was still up.
At this a moment here where they can... JDM is not holding this. He's concerned about A. They don't have time to do anything but cross. JDM pops up over the box and pops Bit in his face and goes out for the repeat.
Oh,
the spray transfer is good. Nifty is not going to want to peek at this point. There's absolutely no time and no way TRK can pull this one out, even though it was a heroic play at the end of the day.
Yeah, they just kind of get a little scuffled there in mid. I mean, obviously not knowing where Cutler had gotten off to, whether he was hiding in spawn and camping bomb. They had a chance, but with no smoke on the mid-cross, you can understand their hesitation.
They needed to just have that up, hold the mid-cross, but they didn't know where JDM was. So it could have been wide on the ramp, whatever it was. He just needed to clear it so they could get to the site. They had no time management there and probably were confused because they ran out of smokes. Funnily enough, tried to fortify the B smokes, using the one to even stop players from being able to see over the jump up. When they just needed to land the first one properly, it would have been more than enough. Flashes here so they can cross up Cat. Second round of OT, Envy come out with a CT round, which it was unclear if they'd be able to do again. This team won the majority of the later rounds of the half. Cutler been instrumental along. So back and forth. So back and forth.
It's a sitter of a shot for JDM. Easy pickup. Felt the threat of the fire. Reposition, got his kill, dropped down. All is good for Envy. Gonna push Cutler into a deeper position on long with the support of JDM. JDM obviously with his eyes back, anticipating that they'll use elbow to wrap. Actually leaving it open for the time being. Now he's back in position. Gonna get the volley of grenades coming into the A site. He won't have support from CT spawn unless Kerrigan runs back out through that smoke. And he's so effectively flashbanged. I mean, this certainly enables the catwalk plant. Kerrigan could have a chance to cut down heads as they exit, or runs up and finds them, but he is the one in the trap.
Nearly slunk around the corner, but now that he's died, look how far set back they are. 2 players at long that need to push up. They've got a lot of cover to gain, and they don't have cat control.
Drone's going to be looking for that cat player. Good headshot versus Maluk. He was going to be the player to drop bodies on the cross. Now it's the ramp control they most certainly need. TRK with the first headshot. We're looking for the multi-frags. It's been a rough round, and he's got himself 3 to the name already. Nifty on the bomb site, running in, does damage, but just can't get these kills in time. 4 frags for TRK as he comes to life in overtime.
They get around. It was hard earned, and they do secure it though. Coming across cat, that was the control they needed. Oh wow, that was so close. I thought Nifty was even going to be able to end that right there with his no scope, but what can you say about that one, man?
Looked like even Kerrigan was going to find a bit of timing.
Yes, I mean he was almost right around the corner, and if he was on the ramp, he could have just set off that retake so much more quickly.
Yep.
Everybody could just run up A. If he showed up on the ramp, nobody can fight long anymore. They find him just in the nick of time. It's hard to say that he shouldn't have gone for that when he got so close.
No pauses remain.
2 ops up, 3 scopes. Hoping, I guess, that Team 1 are going to walk into their crosshairs. It could happen. They're moving fast at times, sometimes they're not. Could be the best potential for them to have these. TRK goes up, suicide. There's no one here to assist. Oh, the flash is actually out. And they lose cat control. They lose long simultaneously, but it looks like... yeah, dude, oh man, Cutler without a gun. He's been so pivotal. It's a shame to see him with all this damage this game and only having a 5-7 when they need it the most. There's always potential for an A split. You know it's in the back of their minds. The ops could make this easier.
JDM. Oh my goodness. That was a rapid and very important readjustment.
So precise.
Quick flick. Nifty could find himself an op shot of his own. Maluk looks to counter duel in mid. Double sniper pick for Team Envy would be a great way to kick off this last round of Team 1's T side in overtime.
Oh,
but
Kerrigan's only got a scout in B.
they have a scout on Kerrigan.
Oh,
they have JDM on 60 HP, and then Cutler to lock down Long versus 3 on only a 5-7. He's blinded initially, but if they don't check this properly, if they don't clear him out, then that's going to be a massive problem. He doesn't peek off the initial flash, will get 1, but that's it. JDM, however, he could be the difference maker. He's got his attention turned, and Drone's going to support him. A little bit of help goes a long way, but a little bit of time doesn't quite. IDK can't get another, and it's Envy with 2 rounds on the CT side of overtime.
That's only the beginning of this. They get the 2 rounds. They were labored. Team 1 pulled it together, but Team 1 now move on to the CT side.
Yep, and that's where they found more success.
That's where they found more success. They actually won the half, numerically for what it's worth, against Envy just now. After a huge comeback, too, so they only got stronger.
It's been a decent amount of time since they were on this side of the map, however, so it's not as though you get that ebb and flow extended from regulation. Fresh start, fresh restart.
Immediate 2 ops, the Yogg, couple of M4s. 1 on JDM for Envy. And they almost put Envy in jeopardy of losing that round. That came close. Everybody chipped in a bit.
Props to Cutler for at least getting the 1 on
I know, yeah. And he timed it so that he just like didn't peek too early, but just at the end of the flash, definitely maximized his ability to get that kill.
And obviously Drone instrumental, not only cutting down the cat player, but then also getting that final frag on Long. You know, JDM, he was positioned well, seeing as he had the car to work for, but Team 1 had him in mind with that Molotov. But enough of the last half. We're immediately back into this one. Team 1's defense, light on mid. Nikon actually looks to be looking from window down below towards doors.
An intense game of CS, folks. Molly there to clear out the doors. Nobody's caught falling back. No mistakes made so far. Minute on the clock, and Kerrigan gets flashed out mid. Immediate will turn that into a smoke. You know, very quick about that timing so that nobody gets any ideas. And they'll move up to threaten. Nycom hits the flick upward on JDM. Could be pivotal.
Could be huge. IDK inside of the smoke grenade as well. Kerrigan upgrading into the AWP, but doesn't expect that peek. A wild fly out from IDK. And a 5 versus 3 here for Team 1. Now, the desperation of Envy is going to push them up the catwalk straight into Maluk. That second sniper for the CT side, missing a bullet and taking damage, but still up long enough to find Nifty. Cutler down, and that is a round immediately here for Team 1.
They've just been fantastic about, first of all, stopping people from crossing Cat, and Envy have been light on trying to shy them off that angle. Also, a lot of their resources get expelled at mid, and that's where the round not begins and ends, but for the majority of for most of the action takes place, and Team 1 come out ahead 2-1 in trades. So what do Envy want to do? Looking for that pick, and it's JDM who will most likely die to that combination Molotov and HE grenade.
One hell of a cocktail.
Strong one for sure.
That's a sigh of relief from Team 1. 5 versus 4 straight out the gate. Significant long control, and Envy seem to want to strike Cat. What's the setup like for the defensive? IDK playing the headshot angle on the CT ramp. Maluk was pretty instrumental in cutting down the numbers last round. Will have utility, throws the frag out. Slight damage, not substantial. Second volley of smokes, high flash, meant to push him back, and he is going to have to give up a slight bit of space, but still he strikes down Drone. Kerrigan comes down from the lower angle and will clear the car, then wrap back and pop the face of IDK. TRK strikes by surprise, however. Bomb plant is theirs. Catwalk control on top of it all, and the rotation from Team 1's B bomb site both come in through spawn. Cat is theirs, but they have 2 smokes to block that off. Nifty plays proactive though. He goes rapidly down towards middle, loses himself after just the first kill. And with that flashbang, they're trying to distract on the bomb site. Cutler the peaks, tapping away, dealing the damage, but not getting that second kill just yet. The bomb's so far gone, and the spray doesn't land for him. He has to wait, and he's completely blocked off. Nycom, with no more utility in this, just desperately looks for the spray. He's trying to find the angle. He's doing more damage, but Cutler's got it in. And Team Envy secure double OT at the least, keeping themselves in this minor and clearing him after the bomb.
Oh my goodness, so many ways to die for Cutler. What a play, what a heads-up play from Nifty to come out mid, get that kill, maybe overextended to try to get 2, but at least he did the damage necessary to allow Cutler to finish that one off and play the 1v1 for perfection. Was basically a young Keanu Reeves dodging bullets there in those last few moments, but he did what he had to do in Envy, as you mentioned. At the very minimum, secure double OT.
There's a serious sense of desperation there. When he's just behind the smoke, he has to keep himself close to clear bomb in case it's stuck. But at the same time, you know, he's so susceptible to spray. If at any point Nycom gets that lineup, there's time to double back and defuse.
Drone's making his way up Cat quickly here. Last round of the half. Envy could take it to a 3rd map right now on this round.
Great flashbang, forces him back, gives up that little bit of map control. We had seen Envy caught in mid in the opening round of 1 CT side in overtime. But it's Maluk with a much more aggressive position. JDM reads it. And with that, we get this execution straight off the back. There is no delay from Envy. They want to force this into map 3. A huge question mark on overpass, and now a 5 versus 2 to go off of this. Both the CTs desperate in mid. They can't double back towards doors because there's where Nifty lies in wait. Nycom's gonna have to rush this instant mouthful of AK, and Bits caught in no man's land. So Envy survived the test. They do it. not only having themselves a T-side and a half, Cutler comes to life, JDM's op was crucial on long, and Kerrigan in the mix. That right there is one hell of a game of Counter-Strike.
One insane game of Counter-Strike, insane from Envy to pull it back. And, you know, sometimes you just want the match to end at 16-14. That OT absolutely delivered. Had no idea who was going to win on any of those rounds, especially from the second half into OT. Like, there was no telling.
If anything we've learned, however, it's that Team 1 have the ability to eliminate North American teams. Team 1 are strong on their map picks and have the ability to improve quickly. From a 16-3 loss yesterday to an overtime loss here today with a near elimination of Envy. But folks, we have one more map for you here on the B stream. We're moving on to Overpass where anything can happen. So Launders and I are going to take a break and we're going to see you guys soon.